America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, a beacon of democracy for the world. But what happens when that democracy, the very foundation of our nation, is under threat? What happens when the integrity of our elections, the cornerstone of our republic, is called into question? This isn't about partisan politics, it's about the survival of our nation as we know it. The right to vote is sacred. It's the lifeblood of our democracy. It's the voice of the people, the ultimate expression of our collective will. But when that voice is silenced, when that right is compromised, the very soul of America is in peril. We've seen it before in other countries, where rigged elections and stolen votes have plunged nations into chaos. We must not let that happen here. The 2020 election left many Americans deeply troubled, with a lingering sense of unease about the security and legitimacy of our electoral process. Across the country, allegations of irregularities, inconsistencies, and outright fraud have cast a dark shadow over what should be a moment of national unity and democratic renewal. From coast to coast, a chorus of concerned citizens is demanding answers, demanding accountability, demanding action. This isn't about overturning elections or relitigating the past. This is about ensuring that every vote counts, that every voice is heard, and that the American people can have confidence in the results of our elections. The stakes are simply too high to ignore these concerns, to dismiss them as partisan rhetoric or conspiracy theories. The future of our democracy hangs in the balance. Michigan, a state steeped in industrial history and Midwestern values, finds itself at the heart of this national debate over election integrity. A bombshell report has sent shockwaves through the political landscape, alleging the existence of a staggering 320,000 ghost voters on the state's voter rolls. These aren't your friendly neighborhood Casper types, but rather phantom voters who exist only on paper, their spectral presence casting doubt on the legitimacy of Michigan's elections. But what exactly are ghost voters, and how do they materialize on voter rolls? These phantom electors can take many forms, from individuals registered at vacant lots and abandoned buildings, to duplicate registrations and the names of deceased voters who somehow remain stubbornly present on the rolls. The implications are clear. If these phantom voters are indeed real, they represent a gaping vulnerability in our electoral system, a backdoor through which fraudsters could potentially swing elections. The sheer scale of the alleged ghost voter problem in Michigan is deeply concerning. 320,000 phantom voters, if they indeed exist, represent a significant portion of the state's electorate, enough to potentially tip the scales in a close election. This isn't just a theoretical concern. Michigan has a long history of razor-thin election margins, making it particularly vulnerable to even small-scale manipulation. Critics argue that these allegations are overblown, that they're based on faulty data or misinterpretations of voter rolls. They point to the fact that voter rolls are constantly in flux, with people moving, passing away, and registering to vote. Maintaining accurate rolls is a complex and challenging task, they argue, and some errors are inevitable. But can these errors truly account for hundreds of thousands of potentially fraudulent registrations? The American people deserve answers.